Hey, where's the music at, guys?
Oh yeah, so you don't remember? We don't have any rights to any songs, so can't play any unlicensed songs on YouTube.
What the heck am I supposed to do then?
Hold up, I think we've got a guy.
Hey, Kennen! I got you, Tuxedo Kennen. One time, then we're getting some music after this. Science. What up, peeps, and welcome to this week's episode of Science with Kennen. Today we're going to talk about the science behind sunbathing. So last weekend was Memorial Weekend, which means the sun's out, pools are open, and if you're anything like me, you've been taking advantage of this wonderful weather. But as you're soaking in the rays, have you ever wondered how that big ball of fire manages to turn your skin from original flavor to extra crispy? I'll give you a hint. It's not the same process as burning a marshmallow. As a marshmallow browns, the sugar becomes oxidized, turning it brown and to eventually black. Whereas humans, when put over a fire, mostly just scream and melt. So if it's not the heat that tans us, then what is it? Well, a tan is caused by a different form of energy that comes from the sun. You see, the sun gives us three main forms of energy. Infrared radiation provides us with the heat that we feel. Oh, it's so flippin' hot. Turn the infrared down. Visible light, which provides us with all the lights and colors that we see. Ah, look at all this green. Without the sun, I couldn't see any of it. Thanks, bud. And ultraviolet radiation, or UV, which you can't really feel or see, but it's there. It's that last form of energy, UV radiation, that causes us to tan. Oh, sweet. I love getting tan. UV radiation must be the best. Not so much. In fact, out of those three types of energy, UV radiation is definitely the worst for you. How about I show you with a little classroom chalk talk? Ultraviolet radiation has the ability to penetrate into your skin cells and directly damage your DNA. Now, normally your body's pretty good at recognizing cells with broken DNA and getting rid of them through a process called apoptosis. But if your body misses fixing some of these broken cells, sometimes they can go on to create more broken or mutated cells, which we call cancer. This is how the sun, or rather the UV radiation from the sun, causes skin cancer. In fact, skin cancer is the most common form of cancer in all of the world. In the United States alone, more than 5.4 million cases are treated each year. And of that, 90% of those cases are related directly to exposure to UV radiation.
Forget it. I'm never going outside again.
Hey there, buddy. Don't worry. Our bodies have come up with a pretty cool way to help protect us from that damage.
My body protects me. So you mean, if I go out in the sun, I'm not necessarily going to get cancer right away?
Probably not right away. You see, our bodies have come up with a pretty cool defense mechanism in order to protect our DNA from UV damage. This defense is a pigment called melanin, which is found in our skin and our hair, and it's responsible for giving us our color and our complexion. If you remember back to our tree episode, a pigment is a molecule which absorbs light and usually reflects a color back. Green leafy plants have a pigment called chlorophyll in them, which absorb all colors of light except for green, which it then reflects back for us to see. This reflection of only green light is what gives plants the green color that we see. In humans, rather than chlorophyll, our pigment is melanin, and we have two main types of it, eumelanin and pheomelanin. Eumelanin absorbs UV radiation and gives off a brownish to blackish appearance, kind of like what you see here. Whereas pheomelanin absorbs UV radiation and gives off more of a reddish appearance. The amount of each type of melanin that you produce is responsible for how you look and how you tan. People who have more eumelanin tend to bronze more and work towards a color that looks more like this, or like that. Whereas people with more pheomelanin, such as redheads, tend to turn more red than bronze as they tan. Our melanin is made by special cells at the basal layer of our skin called melanocytes, which make our melanin and release it towards the top as we need it. Fun fact, did you know that we all have about the same number of melanocytes in our skin? That's right, the difference between being white or black, bronze or pasty, all boils down to how much melanin each of those cells is actually producing regularly. Whoa, 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 whoa. Are you telling me there's no such thing as race? The only difference between being white or black is the amount of pigment that we make? Ah, snap! Oh, I let out the truth bomb. That's my bad, my bad. Science ruining racism there. We're all the same. Okay, so melanin, a pigment, gives us our color. But how is it that the sun makes us produce more of it? Well, you remember that nasty UV radiation we talked about? That's where this comes into play. Our melanin absorbs UV radiation, but can only absorb so much at a time, and eventually some of that UV slips by and starts damaging our cells. This damage causes our cells to start dying, like we talked about through that process called apoptosis. As more cells die, your body sends out a signal that says, "Help! We need protection from the sun's rays!" That signal tells our melanocytes that they need to start producing more melanin. More melanin equals darker skin, which we call a tan. But our bodies can only produce so much melanin at a time, and the longer you're out in the sun, the more UV radiation they're bombarded with, and eventually they just can't keep up. This causes more cells to die, and your body then initiates an inflammatory response. Pretty much your body goes, "Oh my gosh! So many cells are dying! Send in everyone! Ah!" And by everyone, that pretty much means send a bunch of blood to the place that's being injured, aka your skin. All that blood under the skin causes the area to look red and swell up, becoming tender. We call this red tender area, you guessed it, a sunburn. Well, there you have it. Our skin color and the way that we tan is based on the type and amount of a pigment we have in our skin called melanin. Your body produces more melanin when its DNA is damaged by UV radiation. So your tan isn't so much a mark of beauty as it is a warning and protective system against harmful UV damage. So the next time you get a suntan, you can look down and say, "Sweet, so the sun killed a bunch of my skin cells the other day." Now, sunscreen can help by absorbing and reflecting some of the sun's ultraviolet rays so that your skin doesn't have to do it all. But I can't say the sun's all bad. I mean, it does provide energy for plants and algae in order to support life on this planet. It also provides us with vitamin D and keeps us warm and whatnot, but it's not like that's important. And a 2010 study showed that people who had tans were found to be more attractive than those without. Oh yeah? Well, at least in women. Well, I bet it's just because their study didn't account for guys with crazy hot farmer's tan. Double the flavor. Yeah, I don't think that's helping your case out. But if you do insist on going out and sporting a tan this summer, at least do it safely. Always wear sunscreen, take frequent breaks in the shade, and for the love of healthy skin, never use a tanning bed. Well, thank you for watching, and don't forget to tune in next week for a much more interesting episode of Science with Kennen, where we're going to talk about the science behind drinking alcohol.